You're listening to KSPF Channel 1. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more content. So, the college football season is back. And as we're all aware, there have been numerous changes recently. And what we're going to do today is just speculate what some future changes could look like, from conference realignment to playoff expansion. Either way, I think we're going to have a good time unfolding this. Everybody just remember, this is all speculation, so it's just fun to speculate. But first, let's take a second to talk about the Big 12. Deciding to play football this season was a big deal for a conference that's been trying to gain recognition. This opened the eyes to many teams and players around the country that the Big 12 might be the conference to reach out to when the 2023 realignment begins. This may also entice former Big 12 members such as Colorado and Nebraska to reconsider their conference tie-ins. The Big 12 probably wants to pay attention to this one. The University of Iowa has made it pretty clear that they're unhappy with their current conference and the decisions they've made as far as not playing football this season. It leads one to believe that the University of Iowa may be willing to rethink its conference tie-ins. Since Iowa already has a long-time rivalry with Iowa State, this would make them the perfect addition to the Big 12. Since we're speculating, let's just suppose the Big 12 wants to get 14 teams in the conference. And let's just go ahead and say that they get Iowa, Nebraska, and Colorado in the next realignment. Just to get the conference to 14 teams, the Big 12 might want to consider a school that has a decent football program, usually has a pretty good basketball program, and would geographically bridge the gap between West Virginia and the rest of the Big 12. The school I'm talking about is Cincinnati. So for the next scenario, we're going to be talking about super conferences. And our super conferences are going to be the Big 12, the ACC, the SEC, and the American Conference. To make this even, 3 conferences had to have 14 teams. One of the conferences had 12. To get us there, I had to actually include Nebraska, Colorado, Iowa, and Appalachian State because I just like them. Okay, so for all intents and purposes, this is not going to be the prettiest scenario in the world, but I did my best. I picked it based on what sounded like it made sense, geographically what was kind of close. For every conference, I divided them all into Division A and Division B. Our first super conference is the ACC, and in Division A we have Boston College, Navy, Pittsburgh, Syracuse, Temple, Virginia, West Virginia. In Division B we have Appalachian State, Clemson, Duke, East Carolina, North Carolina State, and South Carolina. Next up is the Big 12, and in Division A we have Arkansas, Iowa, Iowa State, Louisville, Memphis, Missouri, and Notre Dame. In Division B we have Colorado, Kansas, Kansas State, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and Tulsa. Maybe a little wishful thinking, but it's kind of cool that we wound up with all 8 of the original Big 8 teams in this conference. And for our final 14-team conference, we have the SEC, with Division A consisting of Central Florida, Florida State, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Miami, South Florida, and Division B consisting of Alabama, Auburn, LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Tennessee, and Tulane. Interestingly enough, while doing the realignment, I realized that Tulane and Georgia Tech both at one time were originally members of the SEC. Alright, last and funnily enough least, because they have 12 teams, is the American Conference. Division A consisting of Baylor, SMU, Texas, Texas A&M, TCU, and Texas Tech. Division B being Cincinnati, Houston, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Virginia Tech, and Rice. Okay, so let's get to the thing I'm most excited to talk about. and that is the concept of expanding the playoff. Yes, let's take the playoff from 4 teams to 8 teams. The model that I've chosen is quite simple, actually. Automatic bids go to the conference champions of the ACC, the Big 12, and the SEC. Those conferences will also send their second best team as an at-large bid, so that gives us 6 teams total so far in the playoff. The remaining 2 teams will be the conference champions for both the Conference USA and the American Conference. And as always, feel free to share your comments down below. Tell me your ideal playoff scenarios. Let me know what you would do differently as far as realignment. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the latest content this channel has to offer. And thank you for watching KSPF Channel 1.